in the world. Here we are. Hi, hello to all of you. So hang on a second. Let me move the conversations on Facebook. Otherwise, I'm going to hear myself twice. There we go. Perfect. Hello. For all of you that don't know me, I'm Claudia. I'm the founder of the Recover from HA support group, and I am the CEO of Nourish by Claudia and also the director of the Period Comeback Protocol. Today, we're going to be talk about how to stop tracking calories, and also how to stop using the scale, how to stop using the fitness watch. And we are going to have a very hands-on conversations on tips that you can implement from starting today, really. But before I go ahead and do so, I really would like to share something incredible that my team and I decided to put together last night. And on the 13th of December, 6:30 a.m. here in Sydney, which is a Tuesday, which possibly is going to be a Monday for all Europe, 7:30 or 6:30 on a Monday for Europe. And then it's going to be 2:30 Eastern time zone on a Monday, the 12th of December. I'm going to run up the Period Comeback Masterclass. So I'm going to send out an email and I'm going to post all the information on this Facebook group. So you're not going to miss on that. And I'm going to send you the link where you can register. But I thought that it was such a nice way for me to give back to this wonderful community at the end of the year. Because I know that so many of you have started this year thinking this is the year that I'm going to get my period back. This is the year that I'm really going to work on my fertility journey, or this is the time where I'm going to decrease my thoughts around food and training, and I'm going to add in a different routine. I know that some of you actually smashed the goals, and we have so many women that joined the Period Comeback Protocol and they got the period back, they got baby number one. They are pregnant right now. So we have seen incredible results on the Period Comeback Protocol over the past few months. And I am absolutely beyond thrilled. We've seen women getting pregnant at the age of 41. We have seen women getting pregnant at the age of 29. We've seen people that didn't have a period for 3 years and 10 years getting it back within 3 to 4 months. And even within 7 weeks, which is pretty shocking. But on top of it, we have also seen women stepping into their own femininity, which is something that really makes my heart shine, because ultimately it's not only about getting the period back, right? It's about getting back to the thought, why did you lose it in the first place? What happened there? And normally when our reproductive system shuts down, it's because we are in a state of threat, and also because we shut down our femininity and we switch on our masculinity. So having the women in the HA community and the Period Comeback Protocol coming to me and telling me, look, my sex drive had increased, I've managed to rest, I watched a full movie without having to go to the kitchen, or without taking a walk around the house. That's really what changes lives, way more than getting one period, right? So I know that for so many of you, getting the period is just the ultimate goal. And I'm going to say to all of you, eye on the prize, but also be realistic. What does it really mean for you to get your period back? Because I know that there is so much more than having a bleed between your legs, and TMI here, but you know, we have been getting pretty intimate over the past few months and over the past few years. So I'm not going to hold back on it. Also, there is something else that I would like you all to consider. Hypothalamic amenorrhea is an issue of the brain. It's not an issue of your ovaries. And if you're watching this live, or if you're watching this on replay, just comment below if you thought that hypothalamic amenorrhea was an issue of the ovaries. Just say, yes, ovaries. Say, yes, one was ovaries. Because I really would like to get your feedback, and I really would like to understand your education and your understanding and your knowledge behind these conditions. And I know that so many of you right now are so literate in terms of period and hormones, and possibly even your partners and your boyfriends and girlfriends are by now. But just let me know if you're still thinking that is a problem with your reproductive system. Maybe you're still going for ultrasound. Maybe you're still getting your tubes flush out, and maybe you're going for all the treatments that have been recommended by your fertility specialist and by your endocrinologist, gynecologist, your family doctor. And fair enough. If you think that there is something that needs to be checked, please go ahead and do so, because there is nothing worse than sitting in the comfort of your home, having that thought in the back of your mind that something is wrong and you're not addressing it. So if your doctor has given you the permission slip to go and get checked, please go ahead and do so. But after you have done all these checks, and maybe you have done it once and you've done them twice, and nothing weird has come up except for follicles in your ovaries, plenty of them possibly, come back to this space and rewatch this video again and listen to me saying, hypothalamic amenorrhea is a condition of your brain. Your ovaries are fine, your reproductive system is fine. What's happening is that the communication highway between your ovaries and your brain has been shut down, because your brain is perceiving the state that you're living in as a state of stress. And so it's not releasing gonadotropic releasing hormones, which are in charge of producing LH and FSH. Okay, so why I'm having this conversation with you right now? Because tracking on your phone, tracking the calories, tracking on your Fitbit, they are all things that you do with your brain, right? So this is a reinforcement to what I've just said before, that hypothalamic amenorrhea is a condition of the brain and not of your reproductive system, even though your reproductive system is much affected by it. So just please comment in the sections and let me know, yeah, I get it. Just tell me that you get it, because this is really important for your recovery. If you write somewhere that you get it, finally your brain is going to catch up with this very important piece of information, and it's going to be able to move forward. It's going to be able to do things differently. So simply type, I get it. Hey, Melissa, really nice to seeing you live. Hi, Lucy. Always lovely having you here. Make sure that you type in the comment sections, activate your brain. And if you're watching this on replay, it doesn't matter. Still type it, because in this way, your brain is going to be able to absorb the information. Cool. Now, I want to keep this live pretty short and sharp. But before I do so, I would like to pause for a few seconds. This is something that I used to do at the very beginning in every single live video or every single YouTube video. I will pause for a second and ask you to breathe. And I haven't done it for a long time, possibly because I've been very busy. I've been getting many new clients this year. I've been getting many people into the Period Comeback Protocol, many wonderful women. The HA community is bursting with vitality and support. And on top of it, I'm buying a house. I have 2 small kiddos below the age of 5. My eldest, she's going to school next year. So there are so many things that needs to be done, that needs to be ticked off. And I'm pretty sure that maybe you're in the same space. You have a lot going on right now for you. But you're here, so you're watching this video. So you're telling your brain that also prioritizing your health and getting your period back is very important for you. So I'm going to give you the opportunity right now to simply breathe. And maybe for some of you, it's nothing new and you do it very consistently throughout the day. But maybe for people like me, especially at this time of the year, we don't get the chance to sit down and breathe. But when you do so, you allow your body to enter the parasympathetic stage, which is the rest and digest stage where all the healing can happen. So if you're watching this on replay or if you're watching this live, it doesn't matter if you're commuting, if you're driving a car. I'm not asking you to close your eyes, but simply pause for a second and invite a big breath in. Expand your lungs. Hold the breath up to 2 and release. And let's do it again. And if you want to close your eyes, please feel free to do so. Beautiful. Energy and vitality coming back in your system, in my system. And I don't know if you see the difference in my eyes, but that's what it took me with only a couple of breaths. So imagine what you can do if you start implementing breathing and resting every single day. And I do apologize if you hear the Facebook messages coming through on the background. That's something that I cannot pause right now because we're live. But this is one of you reaching out, asking for support, asking for help. And I really invite you to do so. I really invite you to ask for help at the end of this year. It can be your Christmas present. It can be the Christmas present from someone else. Because let's face it, if you started this year and you wanted to get your period back, or if you have been in this space for a couple of years, maybe all the things that you have implemented, they have taken you to the next level, but they have not allowed you to recover completely, right? And whenever I ask women, are you full supported? And they tell me, oh yes, I have a wonderful mom, and I have a wonderful partner, and I have a wonderful group of girlfriends. Yes, I get it, but would you ask them to teach you how to fly? Unless they are all pilots, you will go to a professional, to the best possibly in the market, and you would ask that person to teach you how to fly. So why all of a sudden do you think that these people know about how your body should be responding to different food intake or different exercise routine? And why do you think that these people all of a sudden they have a psychology or a coaching degree so that they can help you to break down your disordered thoughts and can help you to set goals so that you can recover in a short amount of time? And I'm going to be very blunt here. What I've seen over the past few years and what I've seen after helping almost 1,000 women is that if you keep telling yourself the story that if you wait it out, your period is going to come and you just need to wait and you don't need to take action and you can do it on your own, chances are that, first of all, your recovery journey is going to be much longer. And instead of being 3 months, it could extend to 9 months, 2 years, 10 years. And also, it could also mean that after you get your period back, 1 year down the track, you get back into HA and you start from scratch. Because if you don't learn the coping mechanism, if you don't rewire your brain, if you don't really know how to nourish your body and to listen to its cues, if you don't know how to become your private investigator, if you don't know how to read the blood test and to support your gut, chances are that this is going to last for a long time or it's going to happen again. And I don't want to sound doom and gloom, and all I want is for you to thrive and to have a very healthy menstrual cycle. But I don't want to lie to you. And I've seen it before, and I've seen it multiple times. And I had women doing the period comeback protocol. They got the period back in such a short amount of time. They got the baby. And whenever they had an inkling that one thought was seeping back into their brain, they reach out to me straight away. And within a couple of weeks, they were fine. And they were ready to go on and live their life. That's how quicker it gets. That's how easier it can be when you get support, when you get someone on your side, when you get a cheerleader on your team, but not only a cheerleader, a psychologist, a coach, a counselor, and a nutrition and dietetic clinician, because that's what my team is. And that's what we do at the Period Comeback Protocol. We don't just tell you, oh, you should eat a little bit more carbs, oh, you should have breakfast. No, we have very deep and meaningful conversations on top of reading all the blood test results and the ultrasound. And something that I offer to women is also that constant checking in and like the chat that we can have in between sessions, because that's where the magic happens. I really dislike the old-fashioned way of speaking to a professional once a month or once every couple of months and then be on your own with the treatment protocol in hand. I love to speak with you quite often so I can help you in terms of moving forward in a much quicker way. You have stuff to do. You have a life to live. All right. And I'm so sorry. This wasn't meant to be a wake-up call, but I think that this video was meant to be this way. Okay. And this was a message that I felt really prompted to share with you today. And now, without further ado, eyes on the prize, how to decrease, how to stop tracking. So first of all, it's very important to have a timeline. Step number one is get help. Step number two is get a timeline, meaning when do you want to stop the behavior by? Is it going to be by the end of today, by the end of the week, or by the end of the month? Don't wing it. If you start winging it based on fear, then it's not going to be as successful as it can be. It's like telling yourself, I'm going to get married by the age of 35 and you're 30 now. Yes, you have 5 years, but if you break it down, when are you going to meet a person? When are you going to start dating? When are you going to start online dating? When are you going to download the apps so that you can online date, right? And the same thing if you're starting a business. Okay, when do you want to open the doors? What are you going to sell? Which kind of customers are you going to target? Be very specific in terms of having a timeline. Do you want to stop all the behaviors by the end of this year? Do you want to stop the behaviors by the end of the month? Just write it down. Worst case scenario, there is no worst case scenario. And I know that some of you are very reluctant to do so based on fear, because possibly you tried it in the past and it didn't work, and you're afraid of being a failure and not being able to stop the behaviors. The reality is that we leave the guilty thoughts and the failure thoughts at bay. They are absolutely unresourceful, not useful today. And once again, if you do it with someone that keeps you accountable, if you do it with the help of a community and a professional, much easier to stick to. But it doesn't matter what you do and what you decide to do today, timeline in place. So for example, let's say that you want to start having breakfast in the morning. Okay, completely different example. Make sure that you write down exactly when you're going to prep your breakfast, if it's going to be at nighttime, if it's going to be the next day. Make sure that you think about what you're going to have for breakfast and you go grocery shopping. So when you wake up in the morning, your fridge is going to be full, you're going to have stuff on the kitchen pantry, and you're going to be able to have breakfast starting tomorrow before 7 a.m. Okay, very clear goal, very clear timeline. If you want to stop stepping on the scale by the end of the week, then the scale needs to disappear by the end of the week, right? So step number one, help. Step number two, timeline. Step number three, very similar. Write down the goals with absolute clarity, meaning what are the behaviors that you're engaging in that you would like to get rid of. So for the sake of this video is stop tracking the calories, stop tracking the macros. So let's pause here for a second. How are you tracking them? Which kind of app are you using? Are you using MyFitnessPal? Are you using anything specifically? Are you counting them in your brain? What are you doing? Just bring awareness to the behaviors and bring awareness to what you want to achieve. Because, for example, if now you want to focus on the calorie counting, let's start from there. When do you want to stop it by? Okay. And why do you want to stop it? What's bothering you about calorie counting? And write it down in a piece of paper. I would like to stop calorie counting by the end of the week, because it's hindering my recovery journey, and because I find it very stressful and it keeps me in a restrictive mentality, and it doesn't allow me to get the job that I want, the life that I want, the relationship that I want, and it's not allowing me to have the muffin that I want for breakfast. Be very specific, write it down so there are no doubts, and you know why you're doing this, because there is nothing more unhelpful than doing something for the sake of it. It's like people that tell you, at the beginning of the year, you have to write down goals. Okay, that's very generic. What do you mean? Do I have to write down goals for 12 months, 3 months, for the year, half the year? And about what? Health, life, business? Do I need to break them down? Do I need to be specific? Is there a timeline attached to it? What's the outcome? You know, that's very generic. It's like, I hate when people start the beginning of the year and they said, oh, okay, let's sit down, especially if you have a best friend or a partner, and let's work out within the next half an hour, which is the time that we're going to need to stop drinking the coffee or the tea that is in front of us. And let's make sure that we create a plan for the rest of the year. That's not how it works, right? First of all, it starts with clarity. So it's not only about goal setting, it's also having the clarity of why you don't want to do something or why you want to do something. So sum it up, get help, find a timeline, get clarity. Step number 4, if you want to stop tracking, whatever that means for you, you can get rid of the tools that you use or decrease the exposure. So for example, if you're stepping on the scale once a week or once a day or multiple times a day, you can get rid of the scale straight away, or you can decide 3 days of the week to not step on the scale. And then the following week, 2 days of the week, 4 days of the week, you're not going to step on the scale, and so on and so forth. The eating disorder brain hate nothing more than uncertainty and lack of routine. So if you start messing out with the amount of time that you track your body size or that you track your calories, your eating disorder is going to get really pissed off, and it's going to be very loud. It's going to make you feel very uncomfortable. If you work through that moment, if you power through, you're going to notice that your thoughts are going to become less and less and less present. Once again, go back to step number 1, get help. Because as I said in the beginning, the eating disorder voice or the disorder behaviors, they're going to be very loud, and they're going to make your life that much harder. But if you manage to find someone that can support you through that phase, then you're going to get to a place where you can simply cruise through it. Okay, do I still have it? Can you please post a comment in the comment section, even if you're watching this on replay, and just tell me that yes, I get it. Step number 1, help. Step number 2, timeline. Step number 3, clarity. Step number 4, decrease the exposure to the tool or get rid of it completely. And it doesn't matter what it is. And also for you that are that count the calories in your head, you can apply exactly the same rules. So whenever the thoughts of counting calories come to your head, and it's up Monday, which is the day where you have decided to not count calories, you just push it away, push it to the back of your brain. And you may need to do it multiple times before it becomes second routine. Actually, you will need to do it plenty of time before it becomes routine, but persist. Keep doing it. And the easiest way is to actually start buying foods that you don't know the caloric intake of. Don't read the new labels, don't reinforce that behavior, and simply stop checking new labels and start pushing the thought out of your mind, okay? If you write down your calories at the end of the day, same thing. If you check how many steps you have done throughout the day, same thing. You can stop wearing the Fitbit, the Apple Watch, whatever that is, or you can simply delete the notifications, or you can basically mute the app, or something else that you can do, once again, decrease the exposure to it. So maybe you can count your steps in the beginning only 3 times a week, and then 2 times a week, and then 1 time a week, and then nothing. And then you can go back to 1 time a week, and then nothing. You know, once again, timeline. Decide when you want to stop the behavior by, but first of all, understand why you want to stop the behavior. Why is the behavior coming in the way of you having the best life? Very important for you to realize that. Last time, and I know that we are running out of time, so I'm gonna be very quick about this one. You need to create a new habit. So meaning, for example, let's say that you wake up in the morning and you decide to step on the scale to check your weight. Make sure that before you do so, you brush your teeth, you drink a glass of water and you have a small snack. And then after that, you can step on the scale. Why do I ask you to do that? Because first of all, you're going to create a buffer time where you're going to start bringing awareness to your habits and to your thoughts. And secondly, because if you drink a glass of water or if you have a snack before stepping on the scale, you will know that the number that you see is not really relevant because it's not reflecting your exact weight for that point in time, right? You can also start weighing yourself at different times during the day. So for example, that could be at nighttime instead of in the morning, or it can be at lunchtime. And once again, we're not aiming to replace the time where you engage in your habit. We're just trying to break the routine. At the same time, you all also need to implement the steps that I talked about before. You know, understanding the reasons why you are engaging in the behaviors, knowing by when you want to get rid of it, decrease the exposure or eliminate the exposure, and then change the behaviors. Because it's not only about getting rid of something that you're doing, it's also about feeling in the space with something else. So for example, let's say that in the morning you wake up and you step on the scale, something else that you can do is just walk yourself to the kitchen, have a nice glass of water with some squeezed lemon or with some collagen in it, and you can start your day that way. That's a very easy steps that you can implement instead of going to the bathroom straight away. The same thing when you're going for, or when you're checking your steps. Is there anything else that you can do instead of checking your steps? Can you, for example, send a message to someone that you love? So you know that normally you check your steps at the end of the day, replace that habit with something else that you will love doing. And that could be checking Instagram. And I'm talking about very uplifting accounts that are very supportive towards your journey, like my account. Or you can send a message to someone that you love. Or simply you can find an accountability buddy and say, look, I haven't checked my steps today. I'm really proud. Give me a feedback on it. And maybe that friend can send you a clap back, let's say. And that's something that we do in the HA community, right? When someone break a behavior, or when engage in something else, or try a different food, or try a different routine, we are always so very supportive. Whenever women in the community, they share about what they're going through, we are always so ever supportive of the place where they are. So once again, getting the right help and being part of a community that can uplift you, it's super important. And always make sure that the thoughts that you have are building you up and are not bringing you down, because we would like to decrease the amount of thoughts, of deflating thoughts throughout the day. And instead of only decreasing them, we would like once again to replace them with more helpful thoughts. Now, it's the end of this live, and there are so many things that I can talk about in terms of how to stop also checking your body image, or how to really implement the steps so you can get your period back. And I'm going to cover these conversations on my YouTube channel or on the future lives. In the next couple of weeks, we have Tara jumping on the live next week. She got her period back. She went from impatient to not having a period, being completely undernourished. She started working with me, and now she's vibrant. Of course, she's still going through a few of the thoughts that we have just discussed on this video, but that's her journey, one step at a time. In the meantime, she got her period back, and that's definitely a cause for celebration. The week after, I'm going to have the beautiful clinical psychotherapist Jacqueline back on board. And then do not forget to join the masterclass, The Period Come Back. That's my gift for you for being part of this group. So make sure that you type masterclass on the comment below if you want to join it, so then I can send you the link. If I don't see you typing masterclass, then I won't know that you want to join it. So I'm not going to be able to reach out to you and send you the link. So it's your call. And last but not least, and I really chewed your ears at the beginning of this live, but it's the end of 2022. If you have done this on your own, if you have tried it for more than 6 months, if you think that waiting it out is the way to go, think again, okay? Have a team that can keep pushing you while you are in this journey. And also get professional support. I am a professional and I've been helping lots of women over the past few years. Get me on your team. You know, worst case scenario, we get your period back. All right, bye for now.